Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Road to Glory Master Ball rank. As you can see on your screen, we are Pokeball tier rank 5 with 5 wins and 8 losses. It is not looking too good, but we're progressively getting better. This team is definitely better than the previous ones. So we're doing better than what we were. As you can see on the screen right now, we have the Garganacl, the Roaring Moon, the Fluttermane, the Annihilape, Kingambit, and a Chien-Pao. Our opponent Berber has the Iron Hands, the Chien-Pao, and Annihilape itself, a Fluttermane, a Kingambit as well, and a Dragonite. We decided to go with the Chien-Pao up first. There really wasn't much choice against this team. It's a very good looking team. So we decided to go with the Chien-Pao. That is followed up by the Annihilape. And last but not least is the Roaring Moon. Our opponent, as we said, is Berber, so let's hop right into the match. We're going to go straight into it, boys and girls. Apologies for my voice. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather with a headache and just feeling pretty gross in general, so apologies if I seem a bit down, but I really do enjoy making these videos, so I just wanted to, you know, get it done, as they say. So for some reason our OBS really did not like the first part of this game, but as you can see, we've got the Chien-Pao up against the Annihilape as we go for the Icicle Crash. Now obviously we are 2 times weak to a fighting type move, so we did play it very risky. It does go for the Final Gambit, which doesn't do a lot of damage, but as you know, Final Gambit does take down the user. I'm not too sure what else it does. I know that it just completely kills the user of it. I'm not too sure what happens of it. Maybe it takes away PP. Not too sure. It doesn't take away PP, so I'm not too sure what Final Gambit does. We are now contemplating swapping out because the King Gambit is out, and we do not want to be getting hit by a Steel type move from this thing. So we decide to swap into our very own Annihilape. And plus this thing has Supreme Overlord, I believe, which means the more of its opponents that the more of its teammates that get knocked out, the more powerful it gets. But we do actually manage to not dodge, but it went for a fighting type move, I believe. So, and that's not able to hit us because guess what? We are a ghost type. We do go for the bulk up as the Kingambit decides to go for the Iron Head. Luckily we outspeed, so there's no way in hell that this thing will be able to flinch us. We then do go for the Drain Punch, which is quite effective. Stab. It completely annihilates the Kingambit, which we are in favour of. We love that. So now they are 2 mons down with only 1 remaining, and we're looking pretty good. We're not looking too shabby, if I do say so myself. To be honest, this is probably one of the quicker matches that we've had. Definitely to be in the position that we're in now. We're doing good, except for the sweeps that we got, especially last week. We got a really good sweep last week, but the Fluttermane does come out. Speaking of the sweep, we did get the sweep last week with our own Fluttermane. But the Fluttermane does come out as we terrestrialize and go for a Stab Rage Fist. As you can see, we're going to terrestrialize now into our Fire type, which is great. We love to see that. Well, actually, the Fluttermane decides to terrestrialize as well into a Fairy type, but the good thing is that we are Fire type, so if it does go for a Moonblast or a Dazzling Gleam, we will resist it because we are now Fire type, which is great. Which, to be honest, looking back at it, I think it's a pretty decent play from myself, if I do say so myself, knowing that it's probably going to go for a Moonblast itself. Going into the Fire type terrestrialization was pretty smart on my end, I think. But it does lower our special attack, but that doesn't matter as we go for the physical Stab Rage Fist, completely destroying the Fluttermane. Brilliant work from our Annihilape. A bit of good plays on my part, if I do say so myself. I've said that so many times this one video already. It's because my head's hurting. But yes, we get the 3-0 on Berber. Berber, thank you very much for a good game, but we move on to the next one. Let's hop right into the team selection. And we are back. So we're up against Trelagas 21 with the Annihilape, the Masquerada, the Fluttermane, the Palafin, the Garganacl, and the Dragapult as we decide well, we start looking at stats, because this team is very, very scary, but in the end, it always comes down to the best three that we have, which is the Flutter main up first. You cannot go wrong with Flutter main. Then that is followed up by the Annihilape, and not last but not least, it can only be one, the Shenpao, of course. But let's hop right into the game here. And here we go. Trelagas21 starts off with the Palafin as we decide to lead with the Flutter main. They're decent matchups for ourselves. We could have gone for the Thunderbolt, which is indeed what we do. We knew that it was going to go for the flip turn, so going for the Thunderbolt probably wasn't the best option in that scenario, but we did it anyways, just in case it decided not to go for the flip turn and decided to stay out for some reason. But it was pretty obvious in the end that it was going to go for the flip turn. So let's just see what it goes out into. It goes into Flatterha, which is its very own Flutter main. So this isn't going to do too much damage to this thing, but it will do a decent amount. But its speed has just risen. Well, our speed is lowered because of photosynthesis. And now we're stuck with the Thunderbolt, so we definitely need to swap out at this point, because we do not want to be taking a stab Shadow Ball from this thing. We do decide to stay out, and the Shadow Ball comes in. Very, very stupid play. I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest with you. It just happened. So Shenpao comes out onto the field against the Flutter main. We do decide to go for... we decide to go for an Icicle Crash. I do believe this Dazzling Gleam does take us out. Not even a crit. Just straight power from the Flutter main there. It is one of the best Pokemon to use in VGC. It is absolutely amazing. It hits like a truck. It is very speedy. Again, if you want to take any advice from myself, please try out a Flutter main. It will change your battling life. But we do decide to terrestrialize with the Annihilape, our fire type Annihilape, because it seemed to work the last time when the Flutter main decided to go for a Moonblast. It does, however, go for the Shadow Ball, which again is a great option. But it doesn't do as much damage, which is great. We do go for the Rage Fist, which should do just about enough to kill the Flutter main. I do believe if the Flutter main was at full health, then the Annihilape still would have killed with the Rage Fist. I could be wrong. Someone might as well run the calcs on that. But the Palafin rather does return with its 0 to hero ability, which is great. We do decide to go for the Rage Fist, as it is probably our most powerful move against this thing, as it decides to go for the terrestrialization. We are now fire type, by the way, so it's not looking great, especially because this thing just terrestrialized into a water type, and it has a move which with priority being Jet Punch. Will it go for the Jet Punch? It does indeed. How much is this going to do? It kills us. I think it was quite apparent from the point that we terrestrialized that this game was not going to go our way. But now we have a terrestrialized Palafin on the field, and that is GG. From there on out, as soon as we terrestrialized, our opponent knew that they were going to win. It's just one of those games. But that is it for this week. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next episode of The Road to Glory. Bye!